All right, Free Radicals, welcome back. My name is Dave, and this is the Radical Independent on YouTube today. Thanks for tuning in, subscribing. Wow, subscriber totals are going back up. Amazing. Not going to complain anymore about it. We've weathered the storm of transitioning from, the neo-progressives who all watch this channel, or did for a little while, and then once they realized I wasn't going to play that game, they decided to, find places where they could be all tribal and stuff. So I thank everybody who's here, though. I appreciate that. And please support the channel if you can. David J. Spurrier at gmx.com. I want to implore people to be still activated, still calling your local television stations to ask why they're not including Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, you can do all of these things, and you're probably going to be confronted with people who say, who? What? It's Biden. It's Bernie. That's it. Technically, it's just Biden, to be honest with you, because Bernie looks like a deer in the headlights. He's yelling and talking about how Joe better listen to me when I say that, free college is a right. Joe better listen. I mean, Joe is going to listen to you? Why would he listen to you? But Joe might listen to this woman here, Tulsi Gabbard, because she brings her aloha spirit, and she is thanking us, and she is continuing her fight. Let's listen to Tulsi, shall we?
I want you to know something, that through all of our challenges, I want you to know that I hear you, and that I'm here with you, and I know how troubling these times are for our great nation. I know how easy it is to turn on the news, how easy it is to get sucked into the fear and the darkness and the toxicity and divisiveness and even the hopelessness. But through all of this, I really want you to remember this one thing, that all of these challenges that we face together, they have one thing in common. They require solutions. They require a global solution. They require leadership with the foresight to know that foreign policy is inseparable from domestic policy.
Yeah, it is. And nobody in this race right now is paying attention to that, including Bernie Sanders, who, again, is just yelling at what Joe Biden is going to do based on his movement that's left. That is, it's over. Bernie's over. His movement is over. It was an ill-conceived movement because its leader was not standing on principle, whereas Tulsi Gabbard is that leader. And I wish we could just transition all those Bernie people over to Tulsi, but again, when you align yourself with neoliberalism, which Bernie did, you're going to find that people are, they're willing to just, say, no, that's not the real thing. I'd rather hang with the real thing. There were a lot of people that compromised and said, okay, I wish Bernie would do X, Y, and Z, but I understand why he's doing what he's doing. Well, guess what? That's not good enough. That's not good enough. If Tulsi Gabbard ends up being like the Jill Stein of this campaign cycle, and you would say, well, she's not in the third party, but no, that's not the point. If she continues to be the voice during this election cycle, much like Jill Stein was last time around, where she would make the rounds, people like Fox News would have Jill Stein on. There were a lot of outlets that gave Jill Stein an opportunity to make her case. And it was really cool that you could vote for Jill Stein. She was on the ballot. Really good. Tulsi Gabbard right now, during these primaries, still on the ballot. And she needs your vote. I already mailed my vote in, so I don't have to go to the polling place and worry about coronavirus. It's a good way to do it if you haven't already done it. Hopefully your state has it. I think here in Florida, you have until Monday to get a mail-in ballot, and they have to get it, I think, by the 17th. So, just get that sucker filled out and in the mail. But in the meantime, let's hear the rest of what Tulsi has to say about leadership.
They require a leader that understands people need to come before partisan politics. That's why I'm running for president. That's why I am still in this. And that's why I'm so incredibly grateful to every single one of you, to the hundreds and thousands of you who are part of our grassroots campaign. All of you who have helped us hit every single fundraising goal that I've put before you throughout this entire campaign. I am incredibly humbled by each and every one of you who has stood with me every step of the way, continuing to stand with me in daring to take on the big and deeply important fights that very few others are willing to take on. Taking on the powerful military-industrial complex, taking on the foreign policy establishment machine, thinking bigger than what we see in the 24-hour news cycle on cable television, thinking bigger than what's limited to the DNC debate stage, thinking bigger, daring to believe in and create something better than the status quo, daring to stand together to bring about a government that actually serves every single one of us, and one that is centered around the inclusive spirit of aloha. So I want to ask you for your continued commitment. I want to ask you to continue joining me as we create this platform advocating for peace and freedom and security, as we address the global challenges head on of nuclear war, pandemics, climate change, and others, things that can only be overcome when we work together, when we stand together as Americans and we work together with other countries in a spirit of cooperation instead of confrontation.
Well, there you have it. She's vowing to continue, whereas Bernie Sanders is basically throwing in the towel. Amazing. Amazing. She's not afraid. She's not fearful. She's not overcome with grief. She's not worried about her reputation, which I know online you have people that are calling her all kinds of names that she needs to get out and so forth. As I've said in other videos, the Bernie people, some of them like Tulsi, and it'll be in their profile. But all they do is talk about Bernie. All they do is talk about Bernie. And I just see it over and over again. So those people that say, oh, no, I like Tulsi, but she's got no chance. You made that happen. You made that happen. By the way, she does have a chance. She does have a chance. Did you see her? Did you hear her here talk about a platform that? A platform. We are creating a platform. Very interesting language that she used there. She's creating a platform, and it's outside of what the DNC considers a platform. Is it for the future? Is it for now? Doesn't matter, right? We vow to continue, just like all of the Jill Stein people vowed to continue and say, you know what? You're not giving us good choices. And with Tulsi Gabbard still in this race, you actually have a good choice right now. You have a great choice. This is just a historic opportunity to do the right thing. So, again, call your local television stations. Complain. Call C-SPAN. I had one person say, hey, I haven't done C-SPAN since like 1996 or so. But yeah, C-SPAN, apparently, the Washington phone calls that they get and so forth, just maybe infiltrate. Not like a troll or anything, but just say, hey, Tulsi Gabbard, well, she's still in this race? Yeah, she's still in the race. And she's a great alternative to these two nut jobs who are now the standard bearers for the DNC. And yeah, I said nut job and Bernie Sanders. Yeah, I'm there now. I just think this whole movement that he started was basically to bring a few young people over to the Biden campaign. And say, okay, and there are going to be people who won't vote. That's the reality of it, because Biden won't give them anything to vote for. Biden is the status quo. Biden is Trump without, the orange glow. And that's it. I'm just saying it. Policy-wise, and again, people just want to beat Trump. They don't care about policies. Tulsi Gabbard cares about policies. She cares about our country. She cares about the future. She knows she's young enough, strong enough, persistent enough, aloha enough to bring people together. And whether it's the Peace and Prosperity Party, which I think would be a great name for a political party, or the Green Party, or the Libertarian Party, or, what is it? The Campaign for a People's Party, whatever it's called. Any of those things. The Workers' Party. Doesn't even have to be a party. Just could be a bunch of radical independents getting together and saying, this is who we're voting for. We don't have a party name. A name would be good. But for now, the best thing we can do is to continue to infiltrate this sham of a primary, because it was and is. It still is. And yes, there's a difference, and I've talked about this on Twitter. There's gaslighting, there's propaganda, there's conditioning, and then there's general rigging, which, for you progressives out there who are working on videos about how the Washington state primary is rigged, or somehow Biden, there's no way Biden is beating Sanders because Sanders is not a good candidate. And Biden isn't a good candidate, but people like Biden better than Bernie. It's about likability, electability. We've just forgotten about the issues that are most important to Americans. And you would say, well, people should be voting for Bernie. You have to have somebody who can bring that message to everybody. And not this little sliver of progressives who basically think the world has gone to hell prior to the pandemic. They thought the world had already gone to hell, and they wake up in the morning angry. Tulsi Gabbard does not wake up in the morning angry, and most of her supporters don't either. Most of Tulsi's supporters know that there are huge challenges before us, but that we can still laugh, we can still enjoy our life, we don't have to be sour about everything. Michael Tracy did this great video yesterday about how people, like with Trump, if Trump walks a certain way, it's unconstitutional and he should be impeached. If Trump does something good, well, he shouldn't get the credit. It should be somebody else. Or, he's still a buffoon. Look, that kind of behavior is what's tearing people apart. And maybe people who don't even like Trump that much will say, screw it, I'm just going to vote for Trump. I'm going to vote for Trump. Because you guys, this guy could cure cancer. He could come up with a vaccine tomorrow to cure corona. All right? One of his surrogates, Ben Carson, could be in there. Not that Ben could probably figure that out, but maybe he'd be a part of the solution. And people across the political spectrum, the Nancy Pelosi resistance, and these progressives that have been doing these channels for so long, well, giving Trump credit? No way. No way. And Tulsi Gabbard this is a new thing here, what we're witnessing. This is somebody who's dug in, who's decided to say, you know what? I'm going to kill you with kindness. I'm going to be nice. But I'm going to tell you what we need to do also. And we can disagree, but I'm not going to call you names after we disagree. I'm not going to worry about identity politics, even though you're looking at the poster woman for intersectionality. But yet, everybody is ignoring her. They care about the two old white guys. It's incredible. You couldn't write a book like this. It'd be like this novel that you would present. Yeah, they had the opportunity to nominate this attractive 38-year-old combat veteran, Hindu woman of color, and they decided to go with the two ancient white guys. Not the DNC, not the Party of Diversity, no, that can't be true. Folks, we just keep hammering. Call people, talk to people, say, hey, I don't care what you think about her chances of being the nominee are at this point. That's not as important as the message she continues to bring, and she will continue to bring regardless of what happens at the convention. Regardless. Won't matter. I guarantee you that. If I know one thing about Tulsi Gabbard, I don't think she's through with public service if they are to block her from even getting a hearing And by the way, these debates, which apparently they've canceled the next debate. You should be calling and talking to people and saying, hey, we need to make it so Tulsi Gabbard could do some kind of an online presentation during the time of when this debate was scheduled. And open it up to as many of these so-called progressive media outlets who probably won't give her the time of day now because they're also in mourning because of Bernie. Oh, Bernie. Bernie, 78 years old. Seems like he's completely just unplugged from everything now and is just waiting, to just end this and endorse Joe Biden. Notice how Tulsi Gabbard's not saying anything about endorsing anybody or, she's just got a movement and she's going to keep moving forward. So good for her. So that's my video on this. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Also, you can help me out on Patreon. There's a link for that in the YouTube banner when you land on this page. And David J. Spuria, Spuria, at gmx.com for one-time PayPal donations. I want to thank a few of you who gave yesterday. The channel continues to do okay. It's doing better than it did about a month ago when I decided to go back to being all Tulsi all the time. And I will continue to cover Tulsi Gabbard as much as possible. And you can also check me on Rockfin. I have a video uploaded over there with my buddy Charles. He's known as the Vigilant Independent. And man, do we agree on a lot of stuff. And we are relentless in our skewering of the entire political establishment. It is awesome to do. Someone has to do it, and I've decided I'm going to be part of that. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.